Phoenix TV, the TV show that follows Manchester's fastest and most exciting sports team, the Manchester Phoenix. On today's show, we have game highlights and match analysis, player interviews, burning questions, and much more. But first, we're going to start with the hockey news. Well, the weekend kicked off without Phoenix playing on the Saturday, but the rest of the league was in action. Start off with Basingstoke, who took on the Telford Tigers, and Basingstoke ran out very comfortable 7-2 winners. 1-0 in the first through Petran, but then really got out of control in the second. Goals from Tribe, Oakford, Moria and Miller took control of the game, with McKinney replying for the Tigers. By that time, it's pretty much over as a contest. Chung and Dubek finished scoring for Bison, with Hansel getting a very late consolation for the Tigers. And we hear there was a little scuffle between Watkins and Wiggins, but nothing really to write home about. Next up, Milton Keynes versus Bracknell, and this one ended up going to penalty shots. Lightning had a 3-goal lead through the first half of the game. Goals from Jameson and 2 from Blaz Emasek. Things are looking good, but then Jasic ends up scoring a hat-trick and takes it into overtime, and then on to penalties. I'm told there was about 20 penalty shots that went on that were not of the highest quality, shall we say, but it ended up Grant McPherson getting the winner there for Milton Keynes. Next up, we've got the Jets and the Steel Dogs. With the Greeners and Payet in the same building, you can guarantee there's going to be a bit of a juicy affair. After a goalless first, Pluskauskas and Shepherd got the home side on the board, with Hurst replying for the Steel Dogs. Pluskauskas and Calder finished the scoring, and that taking the points. And then obviously, can't leave out Mr. Payet. Decided he was going to try and sort of like goad Joe Greener into a fight. That didn't work, so the guy decides to spear him and gets himself a match penalty. Good job. Last game on the Saturday is Swindon versus Peterborough. Goals from Hoog, Richardson and 2 from Chesky, and a goal from Bochner had given Swindon a 4-1 lead after 2 periods. It's all looking plain sailing. Then Zadines and Graham hit in the third period to end it 4-3. Swindon holding on, and that for dear life, but they end up getting the win and the points. Well, next up we have Sunday's games, and the first up is a rematch between Peterborough and Swindon. Hogue gave the home side the lead after the first period. Zadines and Glower hitting back for Peterborough, and Nicky Watt for Swindon, ending the second period 2-2, anybody's game. Third period came, and it's a 5-goal period. Peterborough securing the win and coming from behind twice. We had Chesky and Watt scoring for the Wildcats, 2-goal effort from the player coach Allen, and that levelled the score, with Luke Ferrara scoring the winner. Next to Guildford, and a local derby between the Basingstoke Bison and the Guildford Flames. Usually very close affairs, but not this one. Guildford running out winners 7-2. All the damage was done pretty much in the first period. 5 goals from Longstaff, Hemmings, Rempel, Toe and Huppe. Pretty much sealed the deal there. Basingstoke pulled their goalie Skins after the third goal and replaced him with Colclough, but to no avail. Nothing seemed to kind of go from that night. Scoring was rounded out by Huppe and Toe in the third, and Chin and Reynolds got the consolation goals in that game. MK, visitors down in Telford. Telford take the early lead through Bruce, heading into the second period. Unfortunately, Farn hit back on 38 minutes through the power play, and then Emasek and Carr got the winners there for the Milton Keynes Lightning. The last game we're going to talk about is the Steel Dogs versus the Bracknell Bees. Now, this really looked like it could be a classic, but unfortunately the Bees were pretty poor from what I've been told, and Sheffield end up winning 2-1. That man, Oselins, again, hitting a brace, and then you had Ford netting for the Bees. Now, bit of nastiness in that game there. We had Pavel Gomeniuk, a former player of ours, who got a game penalty for a kneeing incident, second time in 8 games. So there's a bit of a nasty streak coming out in his game, and or is he just getting singled out by referees? Keep an eye on that over the season. Well, now we're going to take a quick look at the league table, and at the top of the table, and that we've got the Milton Keynes Lightning on 10 points. They've basically got the top spot. There's 4 teams there, as you can see, with 4 points. They get the top as having the most regular kind of wins, basically. Phoenix, although only a 1-point weekend, still thereabouts at the top of the league. We've got another 3 points separating 8 teams, with Peterborough and Telford, who are many people's picks to miss the playoffs. A little bit adrift, but still very early days yet. Well, it's time to finish with some NHL news, and where else to start but with Sidney Crosby. He's been cleared to join in with some contact drills, which will hopefully be the last stage in his recovery from the concussion that he suffered, I think it was around about the 5th of January. So hopefully he'll be back soon, and that's good news for the NHL and also for hockey fans around the world. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a bad injury with the Anaheim Ducks' Jason Blake. He's had a very deep laceration, or cut for those of us who aren't medically trained, and that just above his wrist, and there could be some serious tendon damage there, and he's expected to be out for about 3 months. Could be very similar to the injury that Ladsy Harrabin suffered last year. Now we're going to finish with a bit of a roundup of the league. In the East Conference, we have the Washington Capitals, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and those Toronto Maple Leafs riding high in the standings. And so I'm expecting a Stanley Cup year from the Leafs, as I do pretty much every year. So there won't be one. And then we're going to move swiftly onto the West before I cry, where we have Dallas, Detroit and Colorado in the top 3 slots. However, for the Winnipeg Jets, it's not going too well. The first 3 games, and they have no wins. So not a great start there for the new franchise, but hopefully they'll improve over the season. Well, it's time to interview one of our star players. I'm joined today by James Archer. James, thanks for joining us.
All right, Pete.
Now I'm going to put you a bit under the spotlight here. We're going to try and get to know you a little better and how you got involved in hockey. So let's take it right back to the beginning. What got you interested in hockey in the first place?
I think it was just watching Mighty Ducks, really. Yeah, just got watching that. Thought I'd give it a go. Obviously, then I went down Queen's Road Ice Rink. You always thought you had to be able to skate before you could play, so I had to do some figure skating lessons, and obviously I didn't put them boots on though. But
what about the lycra kind of jumpsuit?
Yeah, I went for that, but not the boots.
So, well, it looked good in Blades of Glory, so we'll let you off with that one.
So yeah, I had to learn to skate. I used to have to go down on either Saturday, Sunday mornings to the rink in the mornings. Get learned how to skate, and then from them skating lessons, I was picked out to go on Yorkshire's #1 hockey school, which was the hockey school running out of the rink at the time. So obviously I went along to that, and then from there I got asked to go and play for Sheffield under-10s, and then just went from there, really.
Now, was there kind of like any players that you idolised at that time, or had like a big influence on your career, either a coach or something like that?
Not really as such, but obviously like growing up in Sheffield, I always used to go and watch Steelers, and I know quite a few of the boys did from around my age and that. So obviously when I used to go and watch Steelers, there was Kenny Priestley, Longstaff was there, even Tony were there. So that's how long ago it was. So
he's been around for a little while, hasn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, that's really. Kenny Priestley was probably one of my favourites, and Steve Nemeth, like they were probably definitely up there in my favourite ones that I used to like to go and watch.
Obviously, you kind of progressed through the junior ranks. Was there any particular moment where you thought, actually, I could actually become a pro player here? Was there any specific moment, or?
No, not really. I just kind of worked my way up through the ranks, and then obviously working through the ranks, I ended up playing for the Midlands Conference. But then towards my last year under 14s, I left and I went to Peterborough, and I did. My second year under 16s, I went to Peterborough, and then so I did 1 year under 16s at Peterborough, and then I went straight. I was lucky enough to go straight into the Phantoms. Back then when Kevin King was the coach, so he helped me get started in the EPL as such. And just took it from there. Played East Conference with playing in Peterborough. So yeah, that's pretty much my background on hockey. I've been around a bit and played for a few different clubs.
Now we're going to fast forward just a little bit to obviously last year, championship winning squad, and that which I think everyone's comparing this year's team to. Can you kind of compare this year's team to last year's team at this point in time?
I don't think you can. I think it's unfair to try and compare last year to this year, because we've had a fair clear out. We've got a few new faces in, so people are still getting settled in, and we've had people out injured early on. So I mean, I think at the moment we're doing well, and we're on the right track. So obviously we're here as a group to retain the title, and that's what we want to do.
So we can expect, obviously,
things
a bit later on for the team to gel just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more time to gel, and we're on the right track, and everything's going to get better. You've seen flashes of it, and things are only going to get better.
Yeah. Now, again, obviously this year you've been given a letter on the front of your jersey, the A. How does that feel? Is it going to change your game in any way from being, just a normal player, or is it just going to be the same?
No,
same
not
James
really.
Archer?
I'm still going to be the same player week in, week out. I'm going to give it everything. The only difference is I get to go to the referees and have a little talk now and then without getting a penalty for it. So, in the way I see it, it's a privilege to have an A, but it's not going to change the way I play.
Now, obviously, last weekend you weren't in the lineup. Can you give us an update on when we can expect to see you back in the lineup?
Well, I'm hoping to be back next weekend, but I've got to see the physio again, let them reassess, and obviously just take it a step at a time. Keep doing what the exercise they've given me to strengthen and help things along. Just reassess and see what happens.
The last week was a bit of a mixed bag for the Phoenix. Started off on a Saturday, a bit of a change of pace there, and a 5-0 win against Peterborough. Go down to Telford, and ends up losing 2-1 on penalties. And how do you kind of view that as a player? Obviously, the fans were kind of disappointed, maybe thinking obviously last season Telford were one of the sides you could almost maybe bank on getting points. This year, obviously, the league's a bit tighter.
Yeah, well, as far as Telford go, I mean, we've seen early on already they turned Guildford over in Guildford's ring, and you wouldn't have put that down in a million years, really. But it's hard to say. They're always a tough team to play. They always work hard. So you end of the day, you can't underestimate any team in this league, especially not this season. Everybody's strengthened.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. There's, Bracknell, I mean, they're up towards the top already. There's, Sheffield as well. They're strengthened. Yeah. Swindon strengthened. Telford, I wouldn't say have really strengthened, but you still can't underestimate them. They're still a good team and a good outfit, and they're going to give you everything every night. They're young and hungry. They
showed that last year, and there was a couple of games that they took it fairly close.
Where we beat them 8-7, and I think they was either 6-2 up going into the third period, and we put on an unbelievable comeback. So you just can't take your foot off the gas. You've got to play for 60 minutes every night.
So obviously, being this early into the season, we shouldn't be having the alarm bells ringing or anything just yet.
No. There should be no alarm bells ringing. It's nice at the minute. I mean, there's no clear runner, and that's only good for the league.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's going to make it a lot more exciting. There's going to be, I think every team's going to get a lot more losses than last year. I think Swindon coach has recently said last year Guildford and Manchester first 10 games were undefeated, and both teams have lost twice already. So I think it kind of shows the strength and depth of the league this year.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition this year without a doubt.
So now to really put you on the spot talking of that, who do you see as the main kind of threats to the Phoenix's EPL crown this year?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's a couple of teams I haven't played up to now, but I'd definitely say, Guildford, they're going to be up there without a doubt. With the players they've got, as long as they get themselves on track, I think they'll be definite contenders. Basingstoke, after we saw them play, when I saw the roster in the summer, I weren't, too confident about them. But after seeing them play, they're definitely in with a shout as well. So you can't rule them off. And then obviously Slough will only get better.
Yeah,
they've got some good players down there with Calder and Shepherd. So again, they're another contender. And then Bracknell, I think Bracknell are going to be a tough team this year. So it's just going to be one of those leagues this year where you don't know what anything could happen. So
yeah, I think like last year there was like 2 points separating us and Guildford.
Yeah.
And there's probably 6 or 7 points between Guildford and the third place team. I think it's probably safe to say that maybe this year there could only be a handful of points between first and sixth, maybe something like that.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's going to be a much closer league this year.
So
much closer.
It's going to be definitely exciting. We hope you get injury free soon. We get you back on the ice, hopefully collecting those points. James, thanks for joining us. Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, it's time to look at the game footage from Sunday's game, and I'm joined by a very special guest who's going to give us his insights. Neil Morris, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Now, obviously, the weekend's game didn't really end in the score we really wanted. So we're going to have a quick look at some of the highlights and get your reactions to the game. So we're going to start with the first period.
Throws it towards the goal. It nearly bounced kindly for hand. It does come out to Harrabin at the blue line. He backhands it goalwards. It hits Duggan in front. James Neal this time keeps it alive. Tony Hand in the corner, looks to turn away from Dan Davis. Penalty coming on the Jets. Hand, nice pass, lots of time for Spelder. Moves round his man, shoots and scores! James Neal with a lovely move to get around the defenceman and then beats Greg Rockman through the 5-hole. First of the year for James Neal. Delayed penalty goal. Phoenix 1, Jets 0. Way down the wing comes Tom Duggan. Plays it in behind the goal. Kyrgios gets there first and fires it back down the ice. Tony Hand will pick it up and set off down the left side. Gets around, Terry Miles shovels it on, nicely shot from 5! Beats Greg Rockman on the blocker side. Lovely pinpoint wrister from Uri Fife. It's his 5th of the season. It's a power play goal. Phoenix 2, Jets 0. Gains the line and drops it back. Carlon dumps it around behind the goal. Pliskauskas and Davis skate into each other. And that allows Uri Fife the time to find the pass to Tony Hand, who gains the red line, dumps it in. Single will give chase. Rockman plays it off the plexi. Pliskauskas knocks it clear. Carlon runs the interference. It's a 2-on-1 for the Jets. Played across. The shot finds the back of the net. Dan Davis with the goal for the Slough Jets. Question of interference as the play was coming down the ice, but it worked out for the Jets. Dan Davis, 2nd of the year. Phoenix 2, Jets 1. Long tries to keep it alive in the zone. Connolly looks to dig it out. Boothroyd goes back into his own zone. Harrabin has it in his own end. Long pass was picked off by Terry Miles, and Watt looks to come into the zone, gets around his man, gets around Harrabin, goes to the backhand. That's a brilliant goal there from Ryan Watt. Danced around Harrabin, took it to the backhand and slipped it over the pad of Steve Fohn. Just like that, the Jets were 2-0 down. 5th of the year from Ryan Watt. It's 2-2.
Well, there you go, Neil. It's a bit of a mixed period. 2 goals up. Ends up being 2-2 at the end of the first. What was your take on that period?
I was really pleased with the way we came out of the traps, Pete. I thought we came out really well, and I think we scored 2 excellent goals, really well taken goals. Disappointed with one of the goals because, you know, without a doubt there was interference went on there.
Yeah.
Because it was interference with one of the defensemen, of course, they then left a space at the back, of which they took advantage of, move across the keeper and put it in the back of the net. So, a bit disappointed with that one, to be honest with you.
Well, it would have been a 2-on-2 instead of a 3-on-1, as it turned out.
Yeah.
And that because of that. So,
yeah. And I don't think, you know, to be fair, you can't blame Steve Fohn for that one, because at the end of the day, he did his best. He can only cover the net the best he can. They took him wide, they spread him, they moved the puck around. You know, I think that was a certain goal, but disappointed in the no interference call, and I think most people in the building saw it apart from the ref. So maybe we'll get back at some point to getting Specsavers to sponsor the league.
Well, the thing is, I think with refs as well, it's got to be the hardest job. You're always 50% wrong, but that did.
You know what? It is hard. It's just difficult when, you know, the greatest respect to referees. It's difficult when you're on the wrong side of some decisions, and unfortunately, you know, last night we found ourselves, you know, on the wrong side of quite a few decisions. So but that's sport. I'm sure there'll be other nights we're on the right side of them. So, you know.
Well, like I say, it's one of those. Hopefully they do kind of. That's a cliche, but even itself. Yeah. Out over this. I mean, early in the game there was a goal that was washed out for them because of a kicking motion. Yep. Which again, you know, I think some referees would have allowed it. Luckily, we got the right call, I think, so you could... Yeah,
we did get the right call. In fairness, you see him flick the back of his boot when he puts it in the net, so that was a good call. And I say, you take the good with the bad. I think the second goal from them was I mean, to be honest, it looked a cracking goal, didn't it? But I think maybe our defence committed themselves just a little bit too quick, which allowed them to break very quick from the blue line on us, leaving us a little bit open, and maybe went to ground just that little bit too early. Allowed him to spread the puck again and again, you know, not making excuses for Steve on Sunday, but I think again he didn't have much chance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, from the way the puck went in, I think it was the one spot that was just had a small bit of daylight there. They managed to squeeze it past. And again, I agree. I don't think we can blame the goalie on that one.
No. I mean, and let's be honest, Slough are a good team, and they've put that squad together exceptionally well. So they're never going to be easy to play. And I think last night was a very entertaining game that went end to end. So apart from the final result, Pete, from a customer point of view, it was a good game.
Well, we're going to take a quick look at the second period and see what happened then.
Back to Boothroyd on the blue line. It's played towards the middle. Fife turns and shoots, and Rockman makes a good save. But still in the Jet zone. Now it finally comes free, and Boothroyd will go back. Fans on the pass, but Hand just about gets there, and then Boothroyd knocks it away from Aaron Connolly. Harrabin goes down, no penalty call. Connolly wide open. Now the penalty will come. Steve Wardell took his time making the call, and once again the Jets robbed of a great scoring chance with a silly penalty. It's Aaron Connolly that goes to the box. Face off then to the right of the Phoenix goal. It'll be Shepherd and Hand in on the draw. Puck tied up, Joe Greeno wins it back to the blue line. Calder winds and shoots, glove save by Steve Foe. As words had after the whistle goes, Ryan Watt and Harrabin exchanging pleasantries there. The glove came up from Ryan Watt. Harrabin having none of it. Davis plays it ahead. Carlon. Again, it's picked off by Tony Hand, and Single will get their pot shot from Fife, is blocked away by Greg Rockman. Jets dangerous play there, trying to come out in front of their own goal. The bounce off the skates is picked up by Stephen Wallace. It's taken to the boards by two Jets. It's played around, but Boothroyd keeps it alive. Ham tries to throw it down in front. Duggan almost knocked it down out of the air. And now the Jets will come the other way. But the buzzer may have just saved the Manchester Phoenix from a breakaway chance there.
Well, no goals in that period, but still a bit of action in there.
Yeah. I think I think both teams found the opposite number of each other there, and I think started to sort of play each other out of the game, because it was fairly end-to-end stuff, but they seemed to have the marker on us and we seemed to have the marker on them. So it was a difficult period, that. And I also think that, I don't know if you watched, but we were a little bit less willing to commit all 5 men forward at once, because of realising how quick they were on the break now. And I don't know if you watched them, they were doing it as well, because they saw how quick that Tony and Uri moved forward, and how, I don't remember the goal from Neil. He comes across in the first period, he comes across that blue line very quickly, deeks left, takes it right, puts it top right. So I think there were some lessons learnt from both halves there, Pete, and I think we were all sort of waiting for the right sort of setup of each of the forwards and defensemen, and I don't think it actually came for either team. I think we literally probed their defences and they probed ours, and it went that end, and I think difficult period. I had a couple of people in my block say, we've taken our foot off the gas completely, yet it seemed to be going end to end. So I'm not quite sure between taking your foot off the gas and not being able to break another team's defence down. I think if we could have scored another 2 goals, we would have done.
Yeah.
I think we were being a little bit more careful of not to concede goals while trying to score goals. Tough game at the times, Pete. Tough game.
It was an interesting period, but we'll obviously how the next period gets on.
Absolutely.
So with that, let's have a look at the third.
Carlon throws it out towards the front. Davis finds Pliskauskas. He plays it back to the blue line. Turn and shot from Greener. It's loose in front at the back door. The shot, and Darius Pliskauskas gives the Slough Jets the lead. Phoenix never recovered from being unable to clear the zone. 7th of the season for Darius Pliskauskas, and the Jets have the lead for the first time. Again, the Jets unable to find the pass, but now it's Carlon breaking into the zone. Good job there by Jaro Spelder to keep the skate in there. And the Phoenix look to clear it away. They could break 2-on-1, short-handed. Single place across, and the short-handed goal from Slava Kulikov. Inch-perfect pass from Martin Single. It's an incisive break from the Phoenix. First of the year for Slava Kulikov. We're all tied up again. Phoenix 3, Jets 3. Back up to Calder on the blue line. Greener again in the face-off circle. One-timer from Calder, well blocked by Tom Duggan. Greener has it again, has to throw it in behind the goal. Davis and Handel battle for it. Kyrgios, down low it goes to Davis. Kyrgios again, looks to move towards the middle. Calder winds, played it down towards Greener. The chance in front, and Dan Davis pots the overtime winner for the Slough Jets. They worked it around, got phone going post to post. Dan Davis gets the power play goal, and the Slough Jets will pick up the extra point. Final score, Phoenix 3, Jets 4.
Hey, Tom, we're here with Manchester Phoenix TV and a very popular Slough man of the match, Ryan Watt.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. Ryan, the crowd sort of cheered you a little bit when you got the man of the match there.
Yeah, there's a few minutes left and there's a bit of scrapping going on around our goal and I bumped our goal off. I don't think the home fans appreciate it very much.
Tom, that was a tough one out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a very hard game. I think I spoke before the game there to Pete. We knew that they're going to come hard, they always do.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dirty game really. I thought some of the things they were doing, the ref didn't see him as well. I thought he had a bit of a shocker.
You seem to be enjoying yourself this year, getting a few goals, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've had 5 so far this year, which is, you know, a career high so far, I think. No, I don't know. I'm enjoying playing, and when I'm playing with a smile, I think I'm playing a little bit better than when I'm not.
You've got a good offensive line, though. You guys are scoring goals for fun, aren't you?
Yeah, we've got 9 forwards, and each one can score goals, so we've got that depth throughout our team.
Yeah, it's good. You're looking good. I think we're going to have a few good games between the two teams this season.
Oh, we're both top competitors out there, both teams, so there's no doubt that all the games we play will be close.
You know, you're not letting anybody push you around out there this season. It's looking good.
Yeah, trying to play a bit more physical if I can. Now the shoulder's better.
Well, a point's a point. Obviously we wanted 2, definitely, but again, these are going to be close games for Slough all season.
Yes, they are. It's nice to get the point. We wanted to, but yeah, we've got plenty more games against them to pull it back, so that's what we're looking to do.
Well, not the best finish to a game, unfortunately, from our perspective. You know, they scored to go ahead, we pull it back, we get a dubious penalty, I think is the nicest way of putting it, and unfortunately they capitalise in overtime. Where do you start with that period?
I think it was a good game, Pete. I think it was a good game. I mean, there's something we should say as well. In fairness to the squad, when you're looking at games like this and you're talking about the way the guys played and the way the guys, you know, performed, what I really should say is that in fairness to Tony, he's not had a week yet where he's had a complete squad.
Well, yeah,
we've not had 1 week yet we've had a complete squad, and last night was no different for us. You know, we got some good news late on in the week saying that Kieran was coming back, Kieran Long, and then we get the news that Archer's not going to play, and then the night before Josh Ward gets hit in the face with a puck. And we lose him as well. So now we're 2 guys down again, and we're mixing the lines up. So we've got the only real line that's having any time, which is the line that's newest to each other, I think, really, with the most amount of new players on is line 1. And we've only got line 1 where the guys have played together. You know, we moved Tommy off line 3 onto line 2. We bring Kieran back. He's not played with anybody on that line, and we bring the 2 other guys in to play with Kieran. So I think overall they battled very well last night, and I think, you know, maybe our expectations sometimes a little bit high. But it was a mixed emotions game. I mean, they scored, and it was a bit of a, oh no, you know. Yeah. And then we scored short-handed, which I just thought was an absolutely fantastic goal, leveled things up. And then I can't remember, was it 22 seconds to go, 20 seconds to go or something? I remember looking at the clock, and we're pulled on a penalty.
Yeah, it was very, very dubious, I've got to admit. I didn't agree with it being a hooking
call.
Well,
you know, one of the things I disagree with is that when the game's so close, I think, you know, pulling penalties right at that late stage, it can be a game turner for either team, and yeah. I just think when it's so late in the game, I think the last 2 minutes have gone. I'm not saying that all hell should break loose, but that there should be a certain amount of I don't know, good judgment call into the fact of, you know, this game's got to be ended. And the problem is in our league, well, in most leagues, you get the penalty pulled on you, and then you go on to a 4-on-4, and the penalty carries on. Yeah. So we're going to a 5-minute sudden death overtime on a penalty. So we've got 4 of their guys playing 3 of our guys. Inevitably, you know, there's a good chance of scoring a goal.
Yeah, it does open up a lot more space. And like I said, you've got the players getting around a lot more. It's going to tire them. And
Well, you know, they did a good job. I mean, you saw what happened. We tried to play the diamond, man at the point, 2 behind. They moved it around a lot. They sucked the man from behind forward. The man left at the back of the point moves across to move it back the other way, and it's in the back of the net. To be fair, it was a textbook goal from them, and one that I think Tony, you know, would have back. He was not happy at the end of the game, but performance-wise with the lads, I actually thought they did very well, and I think considering how much we're changing their lines around at the moment, and the fact we've not had a week yet since the beginning of the season where we've got a full squad, then I think performance-wise we're not doing too bad. Sure, would have loved a win, but I suppose you gave me the choice a few weeks ago. Would I take a point from last night? Yeah, I'd take a point.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of the better teams, and I think, so you got to look at the positives. The first line's starting to click now. Uri's starting to bang the points in, which, like I said a few weeks ago, he wasn't on top form. Steve Fone's playing stellar still. People like James Neal are really stepping up. So it wasn't a great day results-wise, but like I said, the performance was
performance
wasn't
awful. The performance was pretty good, and we can build upon it. And I think, you know, what we need to be doing is getting these boys healthy, getting them back, and let's get the whole team out there, and let's have Manchester Phoenix playing at full strength.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Couldn't put it better myself.
Surely now, the Phoenix are EPL champions.
How would you like to drive away a brand new Peugeot from Robinson Day Sale? All you have to do is just add fuel. So what are you waiting for? Come on down today to Robinson Day Sale.
At Robinson Day Sale, all our ATA qualified technicians use the latest diagnostic equipment to repair all makes and models of vehicles. All our service and repair work comes with a full 12 months parts and labour guarantee.
Here at Robinson Day Sale we have access to over 2,000 quality used cars. So if you want choice, value for money and low-cost motoring, come and see the friendly team at Manchester's Peugeot dealership, Robinson Day Sale.
Well, it's time for Burning Questions, where we answer the questions that you've submitted to us, and I'm joined today by Mags Pullen. Mags, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So I've got a few here for you, so I hope you're ready to go.
As long as they're gentle with me, I'm not used to this properly yet.
Well, the first one I've got is from Steve F. It says, I'm a season ticket holder, but I'd like to change my seat. How do I go about it? Plus, do I have to nominate someone to use my ticket if I can't come? If so, who do I tell?
Well, season ticket holders, if you want to change your seat, you're allowed to change it once over the season without charge. If once you've moved, you decide you're still not happy with that, then it's a £10 charge to redo it again, admin charge. The other part of the question, if you are going away on a holiday or you just can't make the game and you want someone else to take your place, just hand them your season ticket, because both of you can't come in on the one ticket. So obviously we know that there's only one of you, as long as you make sure that you get your season ticket back off whoever you've lent it to. Otherwise, you've had it.
Preferably someone you can actually trust.
Yeah.
The next one I've got is from Leanne. I saw a photo in the programme of 2 players sign autographs after the game. Was this just a one-off for the community block kids, or is it going to be a regular thing every week?
As long as the demand's there and there are people turning up each week to get their autographs done, then we'll carry on doing it. At the minute, we have a rota set for 2 players each week. For, like I say, as long as the demand lasts. If they stop coming down, then the lads will stop appearing. So there you go, make use of it.
We'll be having a team card set made up of this year's squad, like last year's, and if so, when?
We're in the process of collecting all the action shots together now to get them sent off to do the player cards. So I can't tell you what the timescale will be, but they will definitely be there. And while I'm on it, we have noticed that last year's cards that we had done didn't include Joe Miller.
So
poor little Joe. So
would that be one that we might be able to get later?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Then you'll have got the complete set of the players that won the championship.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this episode of Phoenix TV. Now remember, you can send in your burning questions by the usual ways: text, email, and of course the Phoenix forums. Now, keep up to date with everything that's going on in the world of the Phoenix by the Facebook page, the Twitter page, and also the official Phoenix podcast. Now, don't forget, our next game is on the 23rd of October, Sunday, against the high-flying Bracknell Bees. So we hope to see you there. But from me, Pete Hagan, Neil, Mags, and the rest of the crew, we'll see you soon.